Good evening. Welcome. Welcome to my live stream. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 p.m. Amsterdam Central European Time, playing for you, sharing music, answering questions if you have. Let me know. Put them in the chat here, and I'll be happy to answer them if I can read them all, because sometimes I get a lot of reactions at the same time. But I'm sure you understand. If you are on Facebook, I would really appreciate if you share this. Just simply share this, because again, your friends are probably among your friends are probably a lot of music lovers. So, if it spreads, I would really appreciate it. It reaches a lot of people. I'm very happy with this. Since the lockdown started, I always wanted to live stream for a long time, but because of all the traveling and the playing and busy, it never happened. And then when the lockdown started 2.5 months ago, I thought, okay, now there is no excuse, and I bought some equipment. Well, the piano, of course, I had already for a long time, but and I went on YouTube tutorials and all of that, and here I am, and it has been spreading, and I. People who already know me are watching, and everybody's united here in my laptop instead of me traveling all over the place. And what's also really cool is that there are a lot of new people who discover my music, and I'm very grateful for that. All right, so let me check here who's online, who's so many people writing. Yoshuito Mori, my great friend from Japan who's been living in Sweden. Again, I've said it before, but thanks to him, a lot of great things happened for me in Japan. He was the one who brought me there for the first time. We actually met when we played together with Toots Tielemans many years ago. Wonderful bass player, wonderful human being. Hi, Sandhya, fantastic singer from India. Thanks for being here. I don't know where you are. I suppose you're in Amsterdam or in India. Let me know. Hi, Linda. Hi, Bert. Hi, Michael. Hey, Cliff, all the way from South Africa. Always watching the show, and he runs a beautiful theater in the Cape Town area, and I was supposed to play there. I've said it a few times. It had to be postponed due to this situation we're in, but at least here, fortunately, in the Netherlands and in Europe, things are getting better. So hopefully in the fall or later this year, I'll be able to really travel again and come to your place and play for you live, or not through a computer screen. Hi, Michael from Florida. Thank you. Yeah, to take our minds, waiting on a hurricane to take our minds to other stuff. Yeah, I understand very well. Let's not go into these politics and all these negative things, because everybody's bombarded with media already, with all the terrible things which are happening. That's why I want to stick to music, because you got enough from all the media in a lot of terrible things which are going on all over the planet. So, but I understand you. Michael. Hi, Christo. The touch. Thank you. Yeah, the piano sound. I'm always trying to make it better. Piano sound has always been something I'm very conscious about, and I learned it mainly because of listening to classical pianists and also jazz pianists who were very aware of touch, like Bill Evans, who influenced Keith Jarrett, Fred Hirsch, people like that, who really have almost like a classical approach of playing jazz on the piano in terms of sound. So, hello, Christo from Paris. Hey, nice to see you here. And hi, Reginald. Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. So, yeah, okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Again, let me know if you have questions. So, I wanted to share something with you, a movie. It's actually, this is a TV show in 1979, an American TV show. And they invited Oscar Peterson to give a piano lesson. And what really strikes me, besides the incredible musicianship, of course, of Oscar Peterson, which goes without saying, what really struck me was, first of all, that there was like 7-8 minutes of jazz on a national primetime TV show. Also here in the Netherlands, that doesn't really happen anymore. And if you are being invited and you have 1 minute to talk or to play, you're lucky. Because not too long, otherwise it gets too complicated. It's stuff like that. And how so. And also when you watch this movie from 1979, or this clip, how much time, and also the man who interviews, how well informed he is about Oscar Peterson, the questions he is asking. To me, that's a whole other level of television, and and also appreciation for the arts in general. And so I think it's worth sharing this movie. Oscar Peterson in 1979, giving a piano lesson on a primetime American TV show. Let me get it out for you here.
Touch the Bösendorfer here. Well, I thank you, and His Grace the Duke thanks you, and Oscar, let's hurry through this. I've got some notes here from my scrapbook, and I wonder if it would be possible to pick a tune and have you show us just superficially, perhaps.
Are you going to pick a tune that I know?
I'll let you pick the tune.
No, go ahead.
Because I might pick Buttons and Bows, or who knows. And if you could just show us some of this, what I think are called stylistic trademarks of other pianists. Mm-hmm. Now, what do we mean by the phrase, the stride piano of Art Tatum, for example?
The stride piano of Tatum or people of that era is the ability to play the background for yourself and make it work like a rhythm section. As opposed to when you play with the rhythm section, where you would just hold a chord, usually, or punctuate with a chord and play. Because the drummer is playing and the bass player is playing. So this way you go.
Yeah. So the right hand is really the instrument, and the left hand is putting the rhythm section out of work.
That's right. That's the idea.
Okay. What else did I put down here? Oh, yeah, here's something I wrote, made note of. Talking about influences on you, and quote, the two-fingered percussiveness of Nat Cole. Oh. Could you show the two-fingered percussiveness
yeah, Nat
for us?
would do this sort of thing.
Or the TPC?
Which each note has its own articulation rather than being an insipid phrase like...
Yeah.
It's... And he used mostly the front end of his hand.
And emphatic
to accomplish
like
this.
that.
It was very emphatic.
Sort of,
it was articulated like you do in speech.
Then the Muzak running all notes together. That's part of the sentence. The other part they could hear in your early influence was the lyric octave work of Earl Garner.
Oh, they're talking about the full chords like this, where Errol used a handful of chords to play melody. If he was going to play Getting Sentimental, he might play it like this. And delay it like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And as I said on another show, you have to know how to be able to do the proper delay so it doesn't sound false.
Since you didn't name the airline, you better not name the other show.
I won't.
Was it run by a middle-aged man with white hair?
No.
Oh, okay. What about the relaxed block chords, or would that be a typo for black chords? No, I guess not in George Shearing's case.
Not in George Shearing. George Shearing used this kind of thing. To run melodies like Roses of Picardy, where he used the fullness of a sax section almost, instead of playing. You get the full chord.
Now, play it again with partial chord.
Partial chord would be two notes, for instance. It's much sparse, much more sparse. This is full.
You know, it just occurred to me that I read so that you had given up singing because you sounded a little too much like a well-known singer. Don't say who it is.
I'm not going to say.
Let's see. Could you do a little bit of a Blossom Fell and see if the audience can tell who you sound like?
I wish I could.
Or what's another one? Give Me a Kiss to Build a Dream On.
No.
Do you really sound like him?
Well, it's debatable.
You won't do it?
That way.
I don't want to embarrass you.
You don't embarrass me. I sing occasionally when I feel
You do?
up to it.
Could you sing just a bit and see if you sound like anybody? I'll be the
What
judge
a
of whether you
day
do it.
this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Well, it's almost like being loved. And if you say Donna Summers, you're in deep trouble.
And so are you.
That's right.
No, I think everyone... I think everyone recognized the voice of the immortal George Burns. Let's not explain it. What are double-handed, or is it double-octave bass lines?
Oh, I think there was, well, actually, what you mean, double octave melody lines
Maybe.
rather than bass lines.
Maybe.
Because if you play a linear invention, if you play as a gain on Sweet Georgia,
Yeah.
if you invent something as an alternative line,
Yeah.
then you can play the same thing with two hands.
Are they doing the identical thing, those
Yes,
two hands?
Right? Right. So but you get it in two different places in the piano. It gives a little different substance. This is a little difficult to do if you haven't been doing it.
Was that ever hard for you, or when the
Oh,
first
yeah.
time you tried that, could you do it?
No, I couldn't do it the first time I tried it.
Okay. What would I be hearing if the pianist was tonality based? I've seen that term thrown
Oh,
around.
you'd be hearing, all right, if you take this same tune, Roses
Okay.
Piccadilly, right, you'd hear this sort of thing. Melodies. You might hear a more involved harmony like... whatever they chose to do. You're just moving the harmonies around and changing them to give it
Yeah.
a different shape to the tune.
Thank you for this master lesson. Quickly, two 10-second questions. How good a trumpet player was Louis Armstrong in musicians'
trumpet player.
terms?
Fantastic trumpet player.
Yeah. And the other one is, how long has wigs been a verb transitive, as in cigarette holder, that wigs me, in the lyrics to Satin Doll? But you don't need to answer that.
All right, I won't bother.
Oscar Peterson, it's a genuine thrill to have you here.
Thank
and
you.
if you would play us off, it would be wonderful. Just a little cocktail piano.
Like that?
Yeah. Thank you. Oscar Peterson.
Yeah. Yeah. Oscar Peterson in 1979 at the Dick Cavett show, big American TV show at the time, in almost 8 minutes talking about jazz, explaining about jazz, actually like a piano lesson. And again, you know, like I said in the introduction, I'm so impressed by how much time was given to something beautiful like this. This was real appreciation for the art, I think, and that's why I wanted to share this with you. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful video, and also food for thought. How things are going today. Here in Holland, in the Netherlands, we actually it stopped, but it was like on air for like 10 years. We had a TV show entitled Prime Time with a very good host, I must say. It's like freely translated into English. The world keeps spinning, something like that, and immensely popular show, and you know, well done. But if you would play there being a band, you were only allowed to play 1 minute. And when you went to the show and in the studio, the stress, and they I think they had like 25 subjects in 50 minutes, and it was known for the speed. And actually, once a friend of mine who came from abroad, from Suriname, which is like a very easygoing country, she was here and she was watching television. The show was on my TV, and she watched it. She said, "Is it being fast forwarded?" I said, "No, that's the regular speed nowadays." So yeah, something, right? Okay. Enough talking. I'm going to. Oh, sorry about this reverb here. I'm going to play something for you. Actually, this is a request I already got a couple weeks ago to play very early. Beautiful composition by Bill Evans, and this is typical one of those songs which I never played, or so many years ago I don't even remember. I think when I was really starting out, I played it. And what I really loved about Chicorea's live stream, he live streamed like for a month every day. And it was more not like talking and sharing videos like I do, but what he was doing is simply sat down and practicing, also with the mistakes. He had like all this sheet music, and he pulled something out, something he hadn't played for many years, and he puts it in front of him, and he starts explaining. And then when he made a mistake, what's a mistake? But you know what I mean. He started to correct it and explaining about the fingering, and like he was practicing. And also like what I really loved about it, besides his incredible playing, of course, was like, he really made it human, the whole process of playing and practicing music, and also the insecurities at that level of not being sure about certain harmonies or whatever. So what I did, I just printed it out shortly before the live stream started, and I'm just putting it in front of me here, very early, by Bill Evans. I'm going to play it after many years. This is actually inspired in Chicorea. Just play something on the spot and see what happens. So this is very early by Bill Evans. Yeah. Wow, it's nice to do this. It's a nice challenge. You know, you just play something on the spot. I just printed it out a few minutes before I went live. A song I hadn't played in many years, very early, by Bill Evans. It's also requested by someone a couple of weeks ago. I need to apologize. Maybe some of you send requests, and I promise, I keep my promise, but sometimes it can take a while because, after all, I'm much busier than I thought I would be with all kinds of things. Unfortunately, it's also, well, I'm still a little bit careful, but we're slowly looking into the future again in terms of organizing concerts, traveling, although that's going to be for the fall. Here in the Netherlands and in Europe, you can only perform in front of 30 people in June, and in July for 100 people if things stay stable. So it's still we're still a long way to go before we can play in front of people, perform, nobody being uptight, you know, about viruses spreading and all of that. So it's going to take a while. We really have to be patient. And until then, I'll be live streaming for you a couple of times a week. And thank you so much for joining and tuning in and your questions and your great comments. Thank you, Standia. Dear David Links. He was guest a couple weeks ago. Amazing, incredible singer, incredible human being, great personality. Check him out. And we recorded an album together entitled From One Language to Another, where David sings in 5 languages, also writing lyrics to my compositions. Really, please check it out. You can find it on Spotify, on YouTube. David Links with the Mike Del Ferro Trio. Thanks, David, for being here. He's sending all these smileys. That's true, and yeah, just check him out. He's just a unique vocalist. I don't even call him a singer. Is actually not the right word. He's really a musician. Plays great piano. Started out with drums. Knows about harmony, and also his whole approach of singing. You know, in terms of instrumentation, all of that. It's a whole world. David Links is a world. Love you, David. Yeah, love you too. Yeah, very cool. All right, so speaking about guests, on Friday, I'll have a fantastic guest from Curaçao. Curaçao is one of the Dutch Antilles, the islands in the Caribbean. And this man, his name is Pernel Saturnino. And he was born and raised in Curaçao, but he's like one of the best percussion players in the world. And at some point he went to the United States to study there, and soon, before he knew, he was playing with Chick Corea, with David Sanchez, with Paquito de Riviera, really like recording albums. He's actually on Chick Corea's album, the Vigil, he's playing on there. So he's also a very close friend. We played a lot together. Sometimes he visits his relatives here in the Netherlands. We always hang, and very inspiring, spiritual human being and an amazing musician. So he'll be on the show on Friday at 10 p.m. Central European time. We're going to talk about music, and we'll probably play some stuff live for you. So tune in on Friday with the show with Pernel Saturnino. You're really going to enjoy this. So yeah, again. Before I'm going to play another one for you, if you're on Facebook, please share. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please hit the bell icon so you'll get notified whenever I go online. And I also broadcast a lot of stuff. If you want me to broadcast things, let me know. Send me the video files, and I'll review it, and maybe I'll put it on the air. I have the tools now to broadcast as well. That comes part of the whole streaming software thing. I love to do it because there's so much great music out there which could be heard even more. So when I'm not live streaming, I schedule broadcasts. So I love doing that. So yeah, and please, and again, if you're on Facebook, you're watching this on Facebook, please share this live stream. I would really appreciate it. So I'm going to play a jazz standard with this app. Well, it's not an app. It's actually a track on this YouTube channel entitled Backing Tracks. And it's really nice. What's nice about it is it enables you to play all these standards with a good rhythm section. I mean, nothing comes close to playing with your own people, but for the time being, it's great. And also musicians, everybody is stuck at home, or, well, a little bit less now, but still, you know, even if you just want to practice with a very good rhythm section, very well done, this is a great channel. There are lots of songs on there, and what's really handy for pianists is that there are many tracks without piano, only the bass and drums, so you don't have the piano playing these chords. You know, it can be distracting sometimes. So let me play this this standard with his backing tracks. So I'm played. Yeah. Hold on, just a second, please. All right. Yeah. This was No Greater Love. Played with this backing track, and of course, the ending, I just went a little bit solo. So, before I close, again, I would like to thank you. Sorry, I'm quickly checking the chats here. You know, technician and musician at the same time. Thanks for all your great comments tonight. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll be back on Friday with a great guest, Pernel Saturnino from Curaçao. Please tune in at 10. Please share. And even more important, please stay safe, stay healthy, take care of other people. I love you all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And hopefully see you on Friday. Bye-bye.